The moment a woman starts pulling away, stops replying, or suddenly treats you like you don't exist, your mind goes crazy. You replay old messages, you overthink every word you said, and deep inside, fear takes control. Fear of loss, fear of rejection, fear that you are not enough. But here is the truth most men never hear. When a woman distances herself, chasing her emotionally is the fastest way to lose her forever. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught a mindset that turns this painful situation into your greatest position of strength. If you understand this deeply, you will never beg for attention again, and ironically, you will become the man people respect and desire. When a woman ignores you, your first instinct is to fix things. You want to ask, "What did I do wrong?" You want clarity, you want reassurance. But Stoicism teaches that you must first understand what is in your control and what is not. Her emotions are not in your control. Her behavior is not in your control. Her decision to pull away is not in your control. The only thing fully under your control is your response. And your response decides everything. Marcus Aurelius said that external events have no power over us unless we allow them to disturb our inner peace. When you let her silence disturb you, you give her power over your emotions. This doesn't mean she is bad. It means you are handing control of your self-worth to someone else. A grounded man does not do this. A grounded man observes before reacting. The first thing to do when a woman distances herself is to stop chasing immediately. This sounds simple, but emotionally it is very hard. Chasing includes double texting, asking for explanations, sending emotional messages, or trying to prove your value. Every one of these actions comes from fear, not strength. Marcus Aurelius believed that desperation weakens the soul. When you act from desperation, you lower your value in your own eyes first, and then in hers. Silence is uncomfortable, but silence is powerful. When you stop chasing, you create space. Space allows clarity. Space allows emotions to settle. Space allows her to feel the absence of you. If she truly cares, she will notice that absence. If she doesn't, you gain something more valuable than her attention: the truth. Many men confuse self-respect with ego. Self-respect is calm. Ego is loud. When a woman ignores you, ego wants revenge or validation. Self-respect wants peace and dignity. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he should not depend on praise, attention, or affection from others to feel complete. This is critical. If your happiness depends on how a woman treats you, you are already losing the game. The second thing you must do is shift focus inward. Ask yourself honest questions, not emotional ones. Did I act aligned with my values? Did I communicate clearly and respectfully? Did I stay authentic? Or did I pretend to be someone else to please her? This is not about blaming yourself. It is about self-mastery. Stoicism is not passive. It is deeply reflective. If you realize you acted needy, jealous, or insecure, accept it without shame. Shame weakens you. Awareness strengthens you. Marcus Aurelius believed that every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtue. This situation is training you to become emotionally independent. Most men fail this test and repeat the same cycle again and again. A woman pulling away often triggers childhood wounds in men. The feeling of being ignored feels like abandonment. Your nervous system reacts, not your logic. That is why Marcus Aurelius emphasized training the mind daily. He knew emotions rise automatically, but reactions are choices. When you feel the urge to text her, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this action coming from strength or fear? If it's fear, do nothing. Doing nothing is not weakness. Doing nothing is discipline. It is choosing long-term self-respect over short-term relief. Every time you resist the urge to chase, you build inner authority. And inner authority is something people feel, even without words. The third thing to do is accept uncertainty without trying to control the outcome. Most men want certainty. They want a clear answer. But life does not always give clear answers. Marcus Aurelius said that peace comes from accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. If she is distant, that is reality. Fighting reality creates suffering. Accepting reality creates calm. Acceptance does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop forcing. Love cannot be forced. Attention cannot be negotiated. Attraction cannot be argued into existence. When you accept this, you stop humiliating yourself by asking for something that must be freely given. Now let's talk about something important. A woman distancing herself does not always mean she lost interest. Sometimes she is testing boundaries. Sometimes she is overwhelmed. Sometimes she is unsure. But here is the key Stoic idea. You do not change your behavior based on assumptions. You change your behavior based on principles. Your principle should be simple. I do not chase people who choose distance. This principle protects your dignity. If she comes back, you receive her calmly, without bitterness, without punishment, without emotional explosion. If she does not come back, you walk forward without resentment. Marcus Aurelius warned against becoming bitter, because bitterness poisons the person holding it, not the person it is aimed at. Another powerful step is to redirect your energy into your own life. When a woman pulls away, many men put their life on pause. This is a mistake. Your mission, your work, your body, your growth should never stop for anyone. Stoicism teaches that your purpose must be larger than any single relationship. When your life is full, her distance does not feel like the end of the world. Go to the gym, improve your skills, strengthen your discipline, clean your environment. These are not distractions, they are anchors. Marcus Aurelius believed that a man should govern his inner world before seeking harmony in relationships. When you become centered, you no longer beg for attention. You attract it naturally. There is also a hidden advantage in being ignored. It reveals emotional dependency. Pain exposes attachment. If her silence hurts deeply, it means you were emotionally overinvested too early. This awareness is a gift. It allows you to rebalance in future connections. Stoicism is about learning from pain, not avoiding it. Do not post indirect messages on social media. Do not try to make her jealous. These actions scream insecurity. A Stoic man does not perform for reactions. He acts according to his character. Marcus Aurelius said that the best revenge is to be unlike the person who wronged you. In this case, the best response to indifference is self-respect. You might wonder, should I ever reach out again? The answer is not emotional. The answer is strategic and calm. If you choose to reach out, do it once, clearly, and without expectation. A simple, grounded message. No pressure, no long explanations. Then you step back again. But this only works if you are truly detached from the outcome. Otherwise, silence is better. Remember this. Attraction grows in space, not pressure. Respect grows in consistency, not pleading. Marcus Aurelius lived knowing that everything external is temporary. People come and go. Emotions change. When you accept impermanence, you stop clinging. And when you stop clinging, you become free. This part is hard to hear, but necessary. If a woman ignores you repeatedly, she is communicating something, even if she is not using words. Listen to behavior, not hope. Stoicism teaches brutal honesty with oneself. If someone shows you that you are not a priority, believe them and act accordingly. Your worth does not decrease because someone fails to see it. The strongest men are calm in rejection and humble in acceptance. They do not chase what runs away. They stand firm in who they are. When a woman distances herself, it is not a call to panic. It is a call to return to yourself. When a woman distances herself, most men believe the power immediately shifts to her. They feel small, unwanted, and reactive. But Marcus Aurelius taught something very different. Power does not belong to the person who withdraws. It belongs to the person who remains stable. Emotional stability is rare, and rarity creates strength. The moment you stop reacting emotionally, the dynamic changes. Silence, when it comes from self-control and not from manipulation, resets the frame. You are no longer the anxious one waiting for validation. You are the man who is centered in his own life. This is not a trick. This is an inner shift, and inner shifts create outer results. Marcus Aurelius believed that a man should never act out of impulse. Impulse is the enemy of wisdom. When a woman ignores you, impulse tells you to chase, explain, or overgive. Wisdom tells you to wait, observe, and remain composed. The man who can master this moment has already separated himself from the majority. One of the biggest mistakes men make is trying to win her back by changing themselves instantly. They become overly nice, overly available, overly agreeable. This does not create attraction. It destroys polarity. Attraction requires two whole individuals, not one person shrinking to fit the fears of the other. Stoicism teaches wholeness, not dependence. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that people act based on their own nature, not because of us. If a woman distances herself, it reflects her internal state, not your value as a man. Taking it personally is an emotional trap. When you stop personalizing her behavior, you stop bleeding energy. Let's talk about silence again, because most men misunderstand it. Silence is not punishment. Silence is not passive aggression. Silence is restraint. It is choosing not to add noise when clarity is needed. When you go silent with dignity, you communicate something without saying it. I respect myself enough to not chase what does not choose me. This message is felt, not heard. Humans are emotional creatures. When you stop reaching out, the mind fills the gap. She may start wondering why you are calm. She may question her own decision, or she may continue distancing herself. Either way, you win because you are no longer sacrificing your self-worth. Marcus Aurelius said that the mind becomes shaped by the thoughts it feeds on. If you constantly think about her silence, you magnify your suffering. Instead, redirect your mental focus deliberately. This is discipline. Replace rumination with action. Physical movement is powerful. Training your body trains your mind. Another important concept is non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean coldness. It means loving without clinging. Many men confuse intensity with connection, but intensity without grounding creates anxiety. A Stoic man is emotionally present but internally free. This balance is rare, and it creates respect. When a woman senses that you are emotionally free, she feels safer, not pressured. Pressure kills attraction. Freedom invites it. Marcus Aurelius believed that nothing truly valuable needs to be forced. If something is meant to align, it will move naturally. If it resists, forcing it only damages you. There is also a lesson in humility here. Sometimes a woman distances herself because the connection was unbalanced. Maybe she invested more emotionally at first, and you pulled away. Or maybe the pace was wrong. Stoicism encourages honest self-assessment without self-attack. Learn, adjust, and move forward. Do not send long emotional messages explaining your feelings in detail. Vulnerability has its place, but timing matters. When someone is distant, emotional flooding pushes them further away. Marcus Aurelius practiced moderation in all things. Even emotions must be governed. If she reaches out again, your response matters more than you think. Do not respond with resentment. Do not interrogate her. Do not act overly excited. Respond calmly, kindly, and grounded. This shows emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is attractive because it signals safety and leadership. A powerful Stoic principle is this: never let another person's behavior turn you into someone you are not proud of. Begging, pleading, over-explaining, or playing games will leave you ashamed later. Protecting your character is more important than saving a connection that requires you to abandon yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a man's worth is measured by what he gives his attention to. If all your attention goes to someone who ignores you, you are devaluing your own time. Time is life. A Stoic guards his time fiercely. Another mistake men make is waiting. Waiting for her message, waiting for her decision, waiting for clarity. Waiting keeps you emotionally stuck. Instead of waiting, live. Fill your days with purpose. When your life is full, waiting disappears naturally. Understand this deeply. If a woman loses interest because you did not chase her, she was never attracted to your strength, only to your availability. That is not love. That is convenience. Marcus Aurelius would never trade dignity for convenience. This is where self-mastery becomes visible. You stop checking your phone constantly. You stop imagining scenarios. You accept whatever outcome arrives with calm. This calm is not indifference. It is confidence without arrogance. Sometimes distance is a gift. It shows you what kind of man you are under pressure. It reveals your emotional habits. Do you collapse, or do you rise? Stoicism exists for moments like this. Philosophy is not for comfort. It is for crisis. A man who can remain composed when ignored has already won something far more valuable than a relationship. He has won control over himself. And once you have that, no one can take it from you. At this stage, the situation is no longer really about her. It is about who you become through this experience. Marcus Aurelius believed that life constantly tests us, not to punish us, but to refine us. When a woman distances herself and ignores you, the test is simple but brutal. Will you abandon yourself to keep someone else, or will you stand firm in your values even if it costs you the connection? Most men think emotional independence means being cold. That is wrong. Emotional independence means your sense of worth does not rise and fall based on someone else's attention. You can care deeply without losing yourself. This balance is the core of Stoic strength. One of the most important long-term shifts is redefining what rejection means. Rejection is not proof of your inadequacy. It is proof of misalignment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that not everyone is meant to walk the same path with us. Some people enter our life to teach us discipline, patience, or self-respect, then leave. Fighting this truth creates suffering. If a woman ignores you and you respond with dignity, you leave the situation stronger no matter the outcome. Strength is not measured by who stays. It is measured by how you behave when someone leaves. A man who collapses in rejection is not ready for partnership. A man who remains centered is. This is why Stoicism emphasizes identity over outcomes. You do not control who chooses you. You control the kind of man you are when choices are made. When your identity is solid, rejection no longer feels like a personal attack. It feels like information. Another key Stoic idea is acceptance of impermanence. Everything changes, emotions fade, relationships evolve, people come closer and then move away. When you expect permanence from temporary things, you suffer. Marcus Aurelius accepted this reality fully, and that acceptance gave him peace even in loss. Now let's talk about standards. Many men say they have standards, but abandon them the moment they fear losing someone. A Stoic man does not negotiate his self-respect. If someone repeatedly ignores you, dismisses you, or treats you as optional, your standard should be clear. You step back, not angrily, not dramatically, quietly. Walking away with calm is one of the strongest moves a man can make. It is not a tactic. It is alignment. You are aligning your actions with your values. And when your actions and values align, inner conflict disappears. Another long-term shift is learning to enjoy your own company. If being alone feels unbearable, you will tolerate disrespect just to avoid solitude. Marcus Aurelius spent a lot of time alone with his thoughts. He trained himself to find stability within. When you do this, relationships become choices, not emotional necessities. You must also understand that attraction and respect are deeply connected. Respect cannot exist where self-respect is absent. If you tolerate being ignored without boundaries, you silently teach others how to treat you. Stoicism is not about controlling others. It is about controlling the message your actions send. If she comes back after distancing herself, observe carefully. Do not rush. Do not overinvest immediately. Let actions speak over time. Consistency matters more than words. A Stoic man trusts patterns, not promises. If she does not come back, do not romanticize what never fully existed. This is another trap. The mind creates fantasies to soften pain. Marcus Aurelius warned against living in imagined futures or pasts. Stay in reality. Reality is where strength is built. Pain, when accepted, sharpens you. Avoided pain weakens you. This experience, if handled correctly, upgrades your emotional intelligence. You learn patience. You learn restraint. You learn that your value is internal, not negotiated through attention. Another crucial shift is detaching your identity from being chosen. Many men feel valuable only when desired. This is dangerous. Desire from others is unpredictable. Your character must be stable regardless. Marcus Aurelius did not define himself by applause. He defined himself by virtue. Virtue in this context means acting with honesty, courage, and self-respect. Even when ignored, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, this is the difference between boys and men. Over time, as you internalize this mindset, something changes. You stop fearing distance. You stop fearing silence. You stop fearing loss. And when fear disappears, neediness disappears. When neediness disappears, your presence becomes calm and grounded. This calm becomes your natural state. You no longer over-explain. You no longer chase. You no longer attach your happiness to responses. And paradoxically, this is when people feel drawn to you. Not because you tried, but because you are solid. Marcus Aurelius believed that the goal of life was not pleasure or approval, but tranquility of the soul. When you handle rejection with grace, you move closer to that tranquility. No relationship is worth sacrificing your inner peace. The final lesson is simple but powerful. Anyone can love when it is easy. Few can remain honorable when it is hard. When a woman distances herself, it is a moment to practice honor, not panic. You may lose her, or you may not. But if you gain self-mastery, you lose nothing. Self-mastery stays with you in every relationship, every challenge, every season of life. And that is the real victory Marcus Aurelius wanted men to understand. If this message helped you see things more clearly, then take a moment to pause and reflect. Growth does not come from reacting emotionally. It comes from understanding yourself deeply. Remember, self-respect will always take you further than chasing attention ever will. If you found value in this video, hit the like button. It really helps this message reach more people who need it right now. Share this video with a friend who might be struggling silently. And if you want more wisdom based on Stoicism, self-control, and masculine growth, subscribe to the channel and stay connected. Your journey to inner strength starts with one decision.